Hey guys, Chris Fayte with Cheat the Game coming back at you. Wasn't even sure this till it was actually coming out. I had some trouble with Dishonored 2, and it started crashing right there, right after it loaded up. It got to the main screen, boom, crashed. And I could not figure out why this was happening, so I had to get a fresh copy. Hopefully now it'll stay up. It seems to be doing okay now. So while it's up and seems to be doing okay, I'm gonna go ahead and finish up what I've already got started on this tut. And today what we're looking at is we need to go ahead and find our infinite runes, and we need to use that cheat, the infinite runes cheat, so we can get us another cheat, and that would be the blink unlimited distance, or farther out distance. As you know, the blink is a teleport type spell where you put a mark at a certain location and you'll automatically, jump to it. And there's just a certain circumference around the character that he can go to, and then you can upgrade it later by spending your runes to have a bigger distance. But we want to use that to find where we can have any distance we want, where we're not limited to that, just that circumference. So that's what we're looking at today. So it is hard to find values, and also how you can use cheats to help you find other cheats. And that's basically what I'm wanting you to get out of this particular one. Also, it was brought to my attention that the gold that we looked up in the last video was not actually the spendable gold, but a stat gold, and that is a possibility. I have not got that far in the game yet to where I've actually spent gold, so I should have looked into that before I actually came out with that, but so be it. Things like that happen. But we may look at that if I get time, or I may have to just do that in another vid. I don't know yet. But for right now, let's go ahead and get our runes value, get us some infinite runes, and let's go ahead and find this blink value. I'll be right back with you. Okay, I'm at the part where I pick up our very first rune. We start out with 0, and then when we pick up the very first rune of the game, it actually gives us 2, and then once we're on the ship, we can go get another one. We actually don't want to start searching for the address until we're actually on the ship, because the address is going to change between here and the next scene. So that's where you want to begin your search, is after you get through all the cutscenes, after you pick up that first rune. If you're at the beginning of the game, if you're somewhere else in the game and just getting the runes, you just do it like you would ammunition or any kind of pickup of gold or coins or anything like that. It's exact value, 4 bytes. Hopefully I don't have to go through all that. Hopefully you understand that aspect of it. So I'm going to go directly to the opcode, and just to show you, this is the opcode that gives us, or where our runes are being written to. So now that we have the opcode, we can just go from there. And I'm going to bypass all these cutscenes, as you see right there, and the address changes. That's why you don't want to search for it right now. So I'm going past the part where we actually look up the address, because you should know how to do that by now. And we're going to go directly into writing the script. We're going to say we already found it, we found out what writes to it, we went up, picked up another rune, got our opcode, and we're ready to write our script. Okay, is everybody with me on that step? If that bypassed anybody, I apologize to you. Go back and watch the very first, or excuse me, I'm sorry, the second, where we got the ammo. No, that was in the first, I believe, the very first one, where we got the ammo almost the same way. But basically all you can do is get runes, increase value by 1 or whatever, how many runes it gives you. Just go to your journal, it tells you how many runes you have, go to exact value, you got it. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and well, we can just go ahead and start the script. I'm going to do an AOB injection. We're just going to call this runes 1. There we go. And we know that R9 is writing to that address. We did see other addresses pop in there, but just for the sake of time, I'm not going to do any compare outs right now. We should be okay on that. We're going to put R9. And I'm just going to put 63, which is the hex value of 99, or you can do it like this. If it's confusing somebody, you can do it like that. Both are the same exact number. We'll just do it like that, integer 99. Assigned to the current cheat table. Now let's go pick up that other rune. Runes test. Alright. I'll try to get there quickly. Let's just check our journal one more time to be sure. We got 2. Okay. Oh, there it is. And here's our next one. Alright, let's see if that, and we got 99 runes. So now we can go and try to find these blinks right here. This is the one we want right here. This is the one we need to try to find. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get back to the room, and I'm going to give myself 99 runes, and we're going to see if we can find this value of where it's changing a constant. It will be a constant value. However, the only time that constant changes is when we upgrade it and it increases that number, and that's what we're going to do next. I'll be right back. Okay, thank you. Back aboard the ship. I went ahead and saved the game right where I'm at now in case we need to start over, and we probably will, because we only get one shot at finding this particular value. It is a constant, and that means it's going to stay the same. The only time this constant is going to change is when we go by the upgrade. So we want to weed out as many addresses as we possibly can. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and begin my search and try to narrow it down as much as possible before I actually do it. So I do not want to use something like unknown value search. I want to try to guesstimate what it could be, like between 1 and 100, 1 and 50. Usually this is the way I go about it. If I looking for something like items, game type items, something outside of the character, that is, like gold, ammo, whatever you pick up or could drop or anything like that, I always search on a 4-byte exact value. That's my first option. Is what I look for. Anything pertaining to the character itself, such as a power, ability, health, breath, stamina, anything pertaining to the character himself, I always search on a float value first. And this kind of, sometimes it works for me, sometimes it works against me, and I end up having to do unknown anyway. But in a situation like this where I only got one shot at finding the value, I want to try to limit my search as much as possible. Okay, so right off the bat I'm going to go to a float value, which I happen to know it is a float value. You don't know this starting off, but you know, you just use experience in the process of elimination and try to guess your way to a good value. And I'm going to go between 1 and 30, as you see here. Now I'm just going to say that our circumference is like between a 1 and a 30, and when we upgrade it's going to increase that value. So hopefully this will limit the addresses I get, and it'll still give me millions of them. So we're just going to have to do our best. So I'm just going to go ahead and first scan it, and you see we're up to almost 12 million already. So what we want to do is we want to kind of walk around, look around, just do different things and weed these down as much as possible. And this is where your hotkey comes in. Now all I'm doing is just walking around, just doing different things, trying to weed out as many addresses as possible. You see it's not going down too much. Let's go ahead and put on our blink. I guess we could also find, while we're doing this, we can also find our magic value. I hadn't even thought about that, but we can do that later. That's also a bar like your health, which would probably be a float. But right now we want blink distance. As you can see, when I turn blink on, it only goes to a certain area, and that's the circumference around. I can't go beyond, and that's what blink does. It just kind of teleports you to that spot that you have on this particular map. But we want to extend it to where we can go as far as we want on that map. And when we upgrade, it's going to go out a little bit farther, but you know, we want it as much as we want. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. Let's go to our journal. First off, I want to do is I want to turn off my runes tests. Anything else right quick that may influence that. I know the runes might, because they're related together, so that runes may give us an incorrect value if I have it on. So I try to eliminate anything as much as I can think of. And this right here is the spell we want. It says your movement range is extended. That's your blink on how far you can teleport to. So right off the bat, I'm going to go ahead and I want to purchase that. Now we know that that constant has now changed. It has now went up in value. So I want to go back, and you see we can go out a little farther now, but not much farther. We can almost get to the steps, but not quite. So I'm going to stay here, and what we're going to do is we're going to go increase value. And you see we are left with over 1,000, which is way too many. But what did we search for? We searched between 1 and 30. Now I want to go up to between, we know it ain't going to be 1. So I want to put it on like maybe 10. See how I'm trying to cut things out as much as possible. I doubt it would go up from between 30 to 211. You know, things like that. Things like this could be a possibility, but we just don't know. To me, I think it would be a whole number, not a decimal base number. If it was something like a bar or a timer, it could possibly be a decimal base number, but I'm thinking it's something like this. That could be it, or something like this or that. But let's go ahead and do next scan and see if we can get rid of some of these decimal base values here. So let's next scan it. We're left with 785, and that's what I want to do first. Is I want to go through my list here, and I want to pick out anything like this and this, just whole numbers without the decimal points. I'll always try those first. Now, finding these type of values could take hours, could even take days. You could find it right off the bat, you know. But to limit your choices as much as possible, we got to. These are all changing, so those ain't gonna be any good. So that's good. I saw that. So what I want to do is each one, I want to go ahead, things that are like, I'll go ahead and let's change that to like, I don't know, 50, and see if that makes a difference of any kind. We know they're not going to change because they're a constant. So you saw we could barely go to the step. Oh, take a look at this. Alright, well that's weird. I mean, finding it that quick, but trust me, it didn't didn't do that the first time I tried. Trust me. What I want to do now is make sure that I have the correct 2. I'm gonna put it down to 1. And look, I can't go beyond my foot. I can't go beyond more than a foot in front of me. So one of these 2 is correct. So what I want to do is I want to keep 1 at the 1, and I want to change another one to like 100. Okay, and I'm still at 1, so it has to be this bottom one here. So let's change that to like 200. Oh, and take a look. Yeah, we can go just about anywhere we want now. And you saw earlier when we upgraded, we could, you know, over here we could barely go beyond them steps, but now look, we can go way beyond that. I'm not even sure how far this is going. But like I say, the point I'm trying to get across is you want to limit your search as much as possible when you only have one chance to get it. You always want to save your game right before you purchase something like that, because you're probably going to have to do it again and again and again, then use the process of elimination from what you've already tried versus what you haven't tried. So me already finding it before kind of helped me get to there again rather quickly. I assure you, the very first time I did it was not that quick. I didn't know what I was looking for, but that's the way I did it. Alright, now the harder part is we want to find an address or an opcode. We cannot change that value again, so what we want to do is go to what is accessing that address. and see if there's a place where it is being read from. Now what you will do is we know that it's going through this address. Let's just make sure by what addresses this instruction accesses. Alright, and let's go back to the game, and you see our constant pop back up here. So that's good. Now we know we can find that address again by coming to this opcode. So we want to save that to our code list, and we're just going to put blank distance constant. Alright, so let's just go back to the disassembler to that location, and what I want to do is I want to load my game back up again before I actually bought the upgrade. So that's right here where I saved my game. So we're going to go back to that location. The address will change. It's a static address. Then we can find out what value it actually was. Alright, let's put our blank back on and take a look here. It's at 10. We can tell that's the same thing. They both end in 9C. Alright, so we're going to add that to the address list. We don't need that anymore. And here you can go about however you want to. You can go you can possibly just modify this right here. You might have to compare it out, but I don't see any other addresses right now going through it. Others may be going through it later, other powers or something like that. I don't know. But right now, let's just find out. Let's just redo it. Find out what accesses this, and this will also give us its writing location as well, where it's writing to it. Let's go back to the journal and buy the upgrade. And this will get us more information. And now we also got where it's writing to that address. And you can see here it's adding something. We can go to that spot in memory also. But since we already looked this one up and it's constantly reading, we can get an immediate result. As you can see here, this only activated when we purchased. So this is only going to increase our constant when we actually purchase the actual upgrade. So it's preferable that we want to put our code here, okay, where it's constantly reading. That way we get it instantaneously every time, all the time. So this is the better option right here. Here's our address, RCX plus RDX times 8 plus 24. We can take a look and see what's in all these registries if we want to, right down here. And we see it's a hex value of 23 times 8 plus 24 will be the offset, but that doesn't matter. We know that RDX will be that particular spell's basically ID number. The game has an ID number. It will be unique. That RDX will be unique to that specific constant. So that way when we go to upgrade things later, if other addresses or other powers are sharing this opcode, we do have a way we can compare them out, because each one of these will have a different ID number in RDX. RDX being that middle value, as we've learned previously. Okay, so right now we don't need to compare out anything because we don't have anything to compare out. But if we need to, we got that to compare out if we need to later. So let's go to that address and let's begin our script. Want to auto assemble AOB injection, and I'm just going to put this as blank underscore distance. That's for me to know what this particular opcode is handling at the moment. And we see that it is moving. Oh, I went to the wrong one. I'm so sorry. Let's bring that back up here. That's why you save these addresses, so you ain't got to look them back up. Double click that and it carries us back to this one. Alright, let's try that again. Blank distance. Alright. We know that This is our address of where our blink distant constant is. So we can just go ahead and set it to whatever distance we want. We know it's a float value, so we want to move into that address, a float value, and we'll just say of 200 right now. We can experiment later as we get farther into the game. We want to go and label this as blink distance test. Save our work always. Let's clear out that. We don't need that anymore. And what I want to do is I want to go back out of the game again and load up to where before we purchased it. I do not want to turn my code on yet. So since it's constantly reading that opcode, it's constantly doing something with that opcode, we should be able to put 200 into that address without having to buy anything. Alright, so first of all, let's make sure we can't go beyond a certain point. And you see we can barely get past the door. I'm going to cancel that out. See, I can't get past the door. I'm going to cancel that out. Now we're going to turn our blink distance, unlimited distance on. Now we should be able to go beyond that door. Okay? So now we put it back on and take a look. Now we're going well beyond it. We haven't even bought the upgrade. That works. See how far it can really take us out here. Ooh. Oh well. But that's blink distance, and that's a hard to find value. Like I say, it's best just to guesstimate something. Try to keep, keep the addresses down as much as possible. That will help you. Like I say, these hard to find values, it's just trial and error until you get something to work with. And that's basically how most people do it. There are other methods you could possibly use. Some people might have some better methods that you can put down there in the comments below. I'm sure people would love to hear it. I would too. So, that'd be great. But I think that's all I got time for. I'm not really sure how long that lasted. 16 minutes and plus what I just previously recorded. So yeah, I'll go ahead and stop it here, and I'll tell you what, we'll go an extra lesson if Dishonored 2 holds out, and we'll see if we can correct that gold problem, and we'll also find infinite magic, or where it stays full. So we'll get that taken care of as well. Alright, let me go ahead and save this, and I'll be right back to close on out. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all coming out and supporting Cheat the Game. Also, come join us over at the Facebook channel, Cheat the Game. We have a bunch of great game hackers that hang out there that can help you answer your questions. We are in the process of getting a website up. It will be at cheatthegame.net, but it's not up yet. I will give you further details as that transpires. But for right now, that's all I really have time for. Like I say, next go around we'll work on trying to fix that gold value and get infinite magic and other miscellaneous junk if I can fit it in there, and then we'll go ahead and make the trainer. I'm sorry this series lasted longer than I expected. I apologize about that, but I did get some questions along the way that I felt needed answered, so I thought those were good questions, so hopefully they got answered. Alright guys, I'm out of here. You all take care. Keep on hacking. Most importantly, please enjoy yourself. That's really what it's all about. You cheat the game, fellas, because believe me, it doesn't mind cheating you. Take care now.